So I got my first AM FM radio when I was maybe 5 years old. Just a little thing, man. You toss a couple batteries in the back or plug it into the wall, and that was it. The whole world came out of that little speaker. I grew up in Tampa in the early 90s. WFLZ, WRBQ, WXTB. Actually, I got some of their stickers on the wall here. WRBQ, FLZ, XTB, 98 Rock. I'd sit there, scan all over the dial. There was always somebody on, somebody live, somebody local. Late at night, you'd find the usual players, Art Bell, talking about whatever was on, whatever was out there past the edge of the map, if you will. And it didn't matter what it was, because the point was that a real person was awake and on the air, and you could hear him. Obviously, there wasn't cell phones or the internet or computers, really, but, especially in the early, mid-90s. I've thought about that little radio I got way back then. I've thought about it a lot this week. This is the Tyler Woodward Project, and before I get any further, the usual spiel, this is all me. My opinions, my point of view, nobody else's. Today, yes, I'm talking about iHeartMedia, the layoffs that started this week, and the thing that really I've been trying not to say out loud for a while now. Here's what actually happened, if you haven't heard yet. Starting Monday this week, iHeart began cutting on-air and programming staff across the country. By Thursday, it was into the third day, and it's still going. Radio Insight, which has covered this stuff for years at this point, called it the biggest purge in the history of the industry. That is their phrasing, not mine. And they don't, I don't think they throw that around lightly. The number, iHeart will admit, it's in the dozens. Well, the reporting on the ground says it's a lot more than a dozen or a few dozen. Whole markets lost everybody. I'm talking about Atlantic City, Cedar Rapids, Erie, Fort Collins, Springfield, Missouri, Spokane. Not trimmed. Completely cleared out. Every remaining local voice gone in a couple days. Hell, there's a guy in Springfield, Clint Gerlich, 19 years with the company. He said something that is stuck with me. He said he was the only person who programs the radio in Springfield. So there's nobody else there. One person was the local radio in that town, and now that person is gone. Brett Saunders in Denver, 28 years at KBCO. Done. A morning show in Fort Myers that ran almost 25 years, terminated. Mike Kelly at B104 in, Lehigh Valley? On that station since 1993. These are the people who were the reason you turned it on. In the memo, you have to hear how they framed it. The two executives who sent it said the goal is to, quote, move faster and operate with greater precision across markets, unquote. Yeah, they said faster is better. They said they have built new tech capabilities over the last several years, and now they are going to scale them. And then, and this is the part that actually made me put my head in my hands, The memo promises that guaranteed human stays at the core of everything they do. Yeah, guaranteed human. In the same memo where they are firing the humans. So, let me tell you where I sit on this, because I'm not just yelling from the outside. I'm a broadcast engineer. I got my foot in the door back in 2014 finally. I work in this every day, and I feel it, man. Even where I am, things are tighter than they used to be. There's a sort of caution to everything now. A quiet thing where you don't dare rock the boat. You don't try the weird idea. You keep it running and you keep your head down. I mean, it's not as bad everywhere as it is at the big consolidators. Public radio is a different animal, and I'm grateful for that. But the air pressure is the same everywhere. Everyone can feel which direction things are going. So, why is it like this? Why did it get this way? Well, you can put a date on it. 1996. The Telecommunications Act. Before that, there were real limits on how many stations one company could own. After that, the cap basically came off. And the dial got bought up. Clear Channel, which is the company that later became iHeart, went from a few dozen stations to over 1,000. A group of private equity firms took over Clear Channel. They took it private in 2006 for almost $19 billion. That deal went bad, and the company filed for bankruptcy in 2018. People talk about private equity and housing right now like it's this new horror show. Wall Street buying up neighborhoods, stripping them, renting them back out to you. And that's bad, but radio got there first. Radio has been the test run for that whole playbook for, some 20 some odd years. Buy the thing, load it with debt, strip out the expensive parts, which in radio means the people, and run whatever's left on it on autopilot. And then a couple of months ago, back in April, the scare, all of this is kind of a scare, but this one was really a little, made you think for a moment. Bloomberg reported iHeart and SiriusXM were in talks to merge. Yeah, the biggest terrestrial radio company and the biggest, really only satellite company, possibly becoming one entity. Now, luckily, those talks stalled out by the end of May, but, think about what that could have been. One company owning the AM dial, the FM dial, and the satellite dial. Imagine what that does to the people who actually make radio. Not the shareholders. The shareholders, they would have been thrilled. To everyone who ever mattered on air, not so much. Now, the one thing I've been trying not to say out loud, I feel like I'm starting to lose my love for this. And I hate that. I genuinely hate saying that. I grew up really only ever wanting to do one thing, This was it. Radio. Not TV, but radio. And there's a feeling I get more days, than I really want to admit, especially lately, where I look at it honestly and I think things might not be coming back. Not the way it was, at least. You want to know what really makes this feel worse? Watch what's actually working right now. Podcasting, YouTube. It's small creators, one person with a mic and an opinion, and nobody's permission to do it. That is the thing that's catching fire right now. That is the thing people are choosing. A live, or at the very least, a personal voice that is clearly a human being who, I guess, actually cares. Which is, exactly the thing radio used to be. The exact thing. And the industry is sitting on the largest distribution network for live human voices ever built. And it's laying those voices off to hit a $50 million savings number while writing guaranteed human in a memo. I mean, give me a break. We're paralyzed. We are watching the answer go viral on another medium, another platform. And we, as an industry, can't make ourselves do it. I think about, back when I was 5 years old with that little battery-powered radio. The thing that blew my mind back then wasn't the signal or how it all worked. It was that someone was there. You could plug in this device and hear somebody local in your town, which felt way bigger than it was. And then listening to the night guys like Art Bell, I mean, how many stations was he on? I mean, it was someone there. Someone was awake and on the air, local, real. You can automate a lot. You cannot automate someone being there, a real human being. And this week, a few hundred people who were there get told, we don't need you anymore. I sometimes think I should have been born like 10 years earlier. I missed the peak of this thing I've been giving my life to. At least that's what I feel like. Maybe. I don't know. Or maybe the peak wasn't a year. Maybe it was just part of where a real person was on the other end. And, that part isn't gone, I guess. It just moved. I'm not ready to say it's dead, but I'm not going to stand here and pretend it's fine either. Because it's definitely not. It got a whole lot smaller this week. And somebody's making some money doing it. Subscribe to me. I am an independent creator. I may work in the industry, but I still love talking about the industry. My name's Tyler, and this is the Tyler Woodward Project. You can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and make sure you rate and review the show. Follow me over on Facebook and YouTube at the Tyler Woodward Project, Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky. I'm over there at tylerwoodward.me. Reach out. Say hello. Maybe you're one of those few that got told that you're no longer needed this week. I feel for you. I put a newsletter up on the new website, too, if you care to join that. Going back to the original name that I called this podcast, Fully Modulated. You can subscribe to the Fully Modulated newsletter. at tylerwoodward.me/newsletter. That's going to do it for me. I just wanted to come on here and commiserate with you guys a little bit because it's not good news. All right. That's going to do it for me for now.